Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Lush Life collection by Colourpop. This did come out in the end of June, but it's still relatively new. I did get the majority of the collection, and I'm going to walk you through how I came up with this look and my opinion on every product I use. So if you're interested in this collection and hearing my opinions, then keep on watching. So as you can see, I already have created the look. I did obviously film it, and I will be showing you clips and just walking you through what I did, how I created this look, and again, giving you my thoughts on each product. The first product I used was the Cheek Dew Serum Blush. This is my second time using this formula. If you missed my Cherry Crush collection review from Colourpop, I will link it below. It's a pretty short and sweet one. It's in my Fab and 5 series, which is 5-minute or less type beauty related video. It was my first time using the Cheek Dew formula. I did really like the way that it applied, how natural it looks on the skin. It does really sink into the makeup. I questioned whether it removed a little bit of coverage, and I did feel at the end of the review that I needed to continue to use it. I felt, even though it was a really bright red, that it actually did kind of fade away very quickly. After I set it, it was much, duller, which is common. But then after I applied highlight, I did feel like it definitely was not really there anymore. I was looking for a little bit more. It also probably was because I had quite a dark, bright pinky red eye look, and that did probably take away from the blush. If I had have just had like mascara or a really, really light natural look, you probably would have been able to see it more. Now with this one, because I knew that once you set it and apply highlight, it's probably going to dull down quite a bit, I did go in quite heavy with this one. So this is one of the 3 shades that comes in the collection. This is the shade Starfruit. As you can see, it has that nice like reddish orangey undertone, but it still has enough pink to it that it's not too warm for my skin tone, which I absolutely love. It's a really, really beautiful shade. As I said, the formula is stunning. It leaves the skin looking really, really nice and juicy. It doesn't dry the skin out at all, and it's not super dewy, so it has a beautiful finish. And this color I'm much more into than the one from the Cherry collection. So this one definitely impressed me much more. When I applied it, I did somewhat feel like I could see like a significantly noticeable line from where I had my concealer to where the blush was, and I was a little bit concerned, but I went over with my beauty blender over the edges, and it literally just like seamlessly blended together. It looked absolutely seamless immediately. It really is a foolproof formula. It's absolutely stunning, super lightweight, super nice and juicy and hydrating to the skin without looking oily or greasy or heavily dewy. And it blends into the makeup really well. And it's definitely one that you can go for if you are a little bit more shy when it comes to liquid and cream blushes. A lot of liquid and cream blushes are quite difficult to blend out. Even my favorites, you have to be careful how much you apply because they're quite pigmented. But this one, even though I built it really easily to be quite bright, it definitely is one you can blend out really simply. And if you go too heavy, it's one that you really can be confident that you'll be able to kind of blend it in and fix it up. As I said, I went quite heavy because I really wanted it to be able to poke through after I applied powder and after I applied highlight. And as you can see, it definitely did. This is an absolutely stunning blush. I loaded on the highlight. I definitely applied quite a bit of powder as well. I like a bright blush, so if you're like me and you like that pigmentation, then just maybe apply a little bit more than you normal, over apply what you normally would. And then once you set it down, it really blends seamlessly into the makeup. And you'll just get a feel for it too when you start to play with it. It's a really incredible formula, and I'm actually surprised at how much I'm enjoying this today because the last time, as I said, I wasn't overly impressed. So yeah, I definitely will continue to use this. I definitely recommend this formula. And the shade Starfruit from the Lush Life collection is to die for. Then I went on to the eyeshadow palette. I did forget to mention that the Lush Life collection is very tropically themed and inspired, and the packaging says it all. It definitely is very evident that it is tropical themes, and I'm loving it. I am here for it. I love the packaging of this. And as you can see, the palette is really, really beautiful. It has those really, really warm tones, the yellow, orangey coppery type, burnt orange type shades. There are a couple more neutral shades. There's, you know, this shade right here, brown, and then there's like a nice bronzy shade. So you have quite a bit of variety. It's dominantly warm toned in, you know, on the edges here, but these middle shades are very beautiful, nice, rich green and almost teal and blue. I really like the color selection of this one. This one here also, it looks quite gold, but it actually is a really nice green hue to it. It's really pretty. I didn't actually use that one today, but I swatched it and I was like, ooh, next time. So you could do a lot with this palette. I went in with a more warm toned on the top, the nice cool toned kind of greeny look on the bottom, and I'm digging it. So I started with the shade Eco, which is that nice kind of like muted yellow, and I applied that throughout the crease. I am not a yellow kind of girl. I don't love yellow on my eyes, but it is quite nice. Now, I wouldn't per se like to lather that all over my eye, but it is nice to blend out if you're looking for that really nice like sunset warm look. I then went in with the shade Guava, which is like kind of a terracotta. It has almost like a diffused look to it. Their mattes are really nice and pigmented. Formula through and through in this palette, pulled through. I really liked this shade. It blended into the yellow really nicely, and it really, like, as I said, I'm not a huge yellow fan, so once I applied this, I really enjoyed the look more. It's definitely a beautiful orange without being too orange. Like terracotta is a little bit more that like deeper, like more rusty kind of look, and I really enjoyed that shade as well. Again, pigmentation blendability was there. I darkened up the outer lid and crease with the shade Eden, which is just a nice dark brown. It's very rich and it added a lot more depth to the look without going too, like I didn't have to go too dark. It's pigmented, but it's also very blendable without looking muted. Sometimes darker shades, if you blend them out too much, it almost looks muted. This one kept its really rich color, even though I blended it out quite a bit. So I really liked that about that. It gives you a lot of different options to create beautiful warm toned looks, and I think that's perfect for the summer. I also think because they are quite like terracotta and that dark kind of rich burnt orangey red, it actually sets you up for some beautiful fall looks as well. And that's what I like about this palette, is it's not only very suited to summer, but you could actually really get away with it for fall. So it's not like just like, oh, yellows and pinks and oranges, where you wouldn't really do that all year. Like, this is a palette I could see myself grabbing for the fall as well, and you know, maybe even the winter. So then I went in with the shade Hotness, which is, oh, it's hard to describe, kind of like an orangey metallic, but it's very similar to the shade Guava, but more like metallic. It almost has that kind of terracotta. It's like a terracotta metallic in my mind. It's really beautiful, but it's not like too crazy bright. So this look is a little bit less like bam in your face, but I really like it. Like, I've done a lot of really out there looks lately, and so it was nice, even though this is still glam, it was nice to kind of keep it a little more subtle on the lid. It was super creamy to the touch, creamy on the lid. You know, the payoff was there, the pigmentation was there. And then I went in with the shade Wildlife, and it's actually described here as a metallic butter yellow. Now, I did apply it with a brush and I forgot to wet it. So you know what, let's do that right now. Let's see if we can get it brighter. Oh yeah. As you can see, this side is quite a bit brighter. I feel like if you were to use your finger or if you are to wet your brush, you can get that really beautiful, bright, vibrant. But then if you just use a brush and you don't wet it, then you can get a little bit more of like a softer effect. Most metallics, that's how it works. It's nice that it doesn't have to be so bright, especially being a yellow, but really pretty. Again, I'm not huge into the yellow, but I am really excited to play with this one up here as well. So the metallics, very stunning. So it also, the collection comes with 2 of their cream gel liners. They have 2 different pencil liners. The ones that are like the typical retractable are the better ones. So the cream gel pencils, I don't like those. From my experience from the So Very Lovely collection, they didn't transfer on the waterline at all. They barely even transferred on the lower lash line. I did not love those. The cream gel liners, I don't know why they're like so similar in name. I don't know why there's 2 different formulas. I'm not even sure how different they are, but from my experience, These ones here, the cream gel liners, are a million times better. They transfer on the waterline. They last, from my experience so far, they last pretty good on the waterline as well. And as you can see on the lower lash line, like look at how pigmented those are. They are very smudgeable, but they're like also long wearing and not too smudgeable. So it's really, really nice. I did go in with the shade Canopy, which is one of the cream gel liners. And it's like a dark foresty matte green. And I did do it about halfway, smudged it out with a brush. And then I did go in with the shade On the Prowl, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I would love to do a whole like greeny blue look with this palette. How do they describe it? Oh, it's emerald, which is a beautiful way to describe it. So I did use that to kind of diffuse it out a little bit, and it is so beautiful, pigmented, blendable as well. I then went in with the shade, the cream gel liner, the BFF cream gel liner. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe this one's the BFF one. Is that the difference? Probably. And this one is a glow. Absolutely stunning. Can we get a moment for this one? Look at how bright that is. Oh my goodness. I'm not even big into green eyeshadow either, but like, man, these are so pretty. Look at my lower lash line. Is it not like the most stunning? It honestly really took this look to like the whole new level. Again, it's very pigmented, creamy, it glides easily, and it smudges out pretty good as well. I went over with Pom Pom, which is like a nice, almost limey green metallic. So it made it like even brighter. It's so pretty. Honestly, every shade I used today, I was really impressed with. The other shades that I've swatched, I was really impressed with. I mean, I feel bad because basically every time I review a Colourpop collection, I'm like, I love it. You should get it. But like, really, I love it and you should get it. I definitely think after I finish all of my Colourpop reviews, because I did do a huge haul recently, I have, I think, 2 more collections to review. After I do that, I think I'm gonna rank the collections I've tested in the last, 8 months, like since the beginning of the year, so that you kind of get an idea of which ones I actually still love and like compared to each other. Because a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, this is great. But to actually compare them, then you'd get a better like idea of which ones really are good and then which ones are like, they're good. Long story short, I honestly love this palette. I think it does a lot. I love that there's those warm shadows, and then I love that you get these beautiful pops of green and blue. I really love that combo, honestly. I'm into it. And I think there's a lot more I could do with the palette. So if this is a color scheme that you can, see yourself using a lot and interested in, I definitely recommend the palette as well. Oh, and as I said, these cream gel liners are so pretty. If you're looking for like a matte green liner, seriously grab this because it is one of the nicest greens I've ever used. Like, it's just so rich and it's not too much. Like, it's really, really pretty. It's a good formula as well. And then this one is, again, if you're looking for that like bright metallic green. Now, the actual liner isn't too limey. Like, this one is really, really, really like vibrant, whereas this one is a little bit less bright and vibrant, which I actually really like. I could see myself wearing this shade over the actual eyeshadow. Like, I love how bright that is, but this is actually a little bit of a like cooler toned shade, and it's really, really, really pretty. I really love these liners so much. I'm so glad that I got them. They're a beautiful addition to my collection. I really love them. So I honestly recommend those as well. Last but not least, I did apply the Luxe Gloss, and it came in the shade Vonda. I really love this formula. It honestly reminds me a little bit of the Fenty Beauty Gloss, because it's like a little bit of a thicker formula without feeling really thick and gloppy, but it's like super juicy on the lips. Like, it makes my lips look so nice and juicy and big, and I love that. And it's comfortable, it's easy to apply. I love the pigmentation of it. You get a nice color without it being like too much. It's comfortable, it looks good. I really love the color. It's like a nice coral. I think it's like straight up coral. Some of theirs have like little glitter in it, and this one doesn't, but it's just one of the most stunning shades. I applied it over the NYX retractable lip liner in Nude, and this just like warmed it up just a little bit, which matched the eye really nicely. So it's not too pigmented, but it almost has like the perfect amount of pigmentation, and it's a beautiful like coral shade. So yeah, I recommend the gloss as well. If you're looking for like a nice coral gloss, you will definitely be happy with this. The formula I recommend. If this is not like the shade you're looking for, if you want something else, then I do recommend the formula as well. Like check out their other luxe glosses, because this is one of my favorite like drugstore price point glosses. Definitely one of my faves at the affordable price point. So yeah, that is the full collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really honestly love this collection more than I thought I was. Like I love the packaging, but I was like, okay, there's a lot going on there. You know, do we really need it? But I really like it. I definitely am very interested when I actually sit down to do the ranking video, which will come in the next probably month. I'll probably do it in September, like maybe in the beginning, the first couple weeks of September. So if you aren't subscribed, I recommend you do so you don't miss out. I have a lot more Colourpop coming, and then I will do the ranking video of all, like maybe I'll just do the palettes. Yeah, I think I'll just do the palettes because otherwise it's gonna get confusing. But definitely will be ranking my Colourpop palettes since the beginning of the year, because there's been so many and I always love them. Not always, but typically. And I want to give you like a good bullet point of like which ones I really love and why, and where they kind of stand compared to each other. So yeah, definitely subscribe if you are interested in that type of video. Give me a thumbs up as well so I know you guys are actually interested in that. Yeah, ultimately I love the collection. I really do. If it's a color scheme you're interested in, I definitely think you will love it as well. The formulas through and through are incredible, and honestly, for the price of these products, I would pay so much more for this stuff. It really compares to a lot of my high-end stuff. And this is another success by Colourpop. I definitely recommend. I hope you guys enjoyed, found this video helpful, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.